What is going on there, y'all? Us Boards of Canada fans, we have been hungry. We have been starved. Not tomorrow's harvest, but today, baby, we are fucking eating well. Inferno. Something hot. Spicy. Yes, this Inferno album, guys, is fucking bonkers. I'm happy with it. I was a little skeptical. I was nervous because I was hearing some fans, critics, whoever the fuck they were, and just kind of bashing it, saying like, oh, some of these songs, I never liked Boards of Canada. This album fucking sucks, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, gosh, what the fuck have they heard? I heard the album. Boards of Canada fan. Gio Gotti, you know what I'm saying? Sinister. Real fucking Boards of Canada fan right here. Heard the album. And, guys, I'm fucking psyched, happy. I'm happy for myself because I get to enjoy it, soak these songs in, get lost in humanity, baby. Just get lost away from the bullshit. Just, get soaked in my zone. A lot of people I know just don't know Boards of Canada. You know what I mean? I'm one of the very few Boards of Canada fans I know of. And I'm quite frankly surprised how many Boards of Canada fans there are out there, guys. I mean, really. This album is fucking topping the charts. I'm hearing a lot of good talks about it now that it's released. Hearing a lot of popularities. The first single had 1 million views. It just threw me off, guys, because I was like, I honestly felt weird. You ever get that sometimes? That you just feel weird, liking some music or a movie or something. And you're like, I know a lot of people don't know about this, don't like it, but I fucking dig it and it's off. But what the fuck? You know what I mean? There's something about it, man. Like, I dig this shit. It's fucking awesome. There's something to it. I'm a big Nine Inch Nail fan. You know what I mean? Also got that tatted. Nine Inch Nails. So Trent Reznor produced scores, creates this atmosphere, scary atmosphere, video games, scary movies, even on albums of Nine Inch Nails. And then Boards of Canada, strictly instrumentals, strictly beats. And really, guys, getting into... Now, when I say weird, I'm talking Gio Gotti. Music has the right to children. I was hearing that and I was like, I can hear why people would like this. There's some hip hop elements, all that, good shit going on, happiness going on, tracks like Aquarius. And then the one that's like, Bates. I love that one right there. I got a dog named Bates. And I hear that one of the Boards of Canada tracks on Music Has the Right to Children. And the sample, I swear, it just sounds like the, kids are going, Bates. So I love that part right there. Guilty conscience. Guilty pleasure. But I'm telling you guys, this new album right here, Inferno, I really dig it, guys. I'm fucking happy. This threw me for an adventure. I listened to it twice. Listened to it last night when it came out. Listened to it this morning. And I gotta say, guys, I'm so fucking satisfied, but I haven't soaked it in all the way. And I'm happy with that. I love an album that when you hear, you don't get it right away. It's not like, all right, that hour right there I get and I don't really need again. No. With Boards of Canada's Inferno, I let that whole shit play, flow together like butter on pancakes. And I'm telling you guys, I'm like, that's still not enough. I'm so fucking pleased that's happy, but I need more. Throw it on again. I'm telling myself, but you know what, guys? Today I'm going to go see, I kind of spoil it for myself, guys. I was so hyped on checking out the reviews and talks of the new Boards of Canada album. And I ended up eventually seeing that one of the songs on the album is in Backrooms, the movie Backrooms. The movie Backrooms came out the same time as Boards of Canada's album, Inferno, last night. So, but fuck, man, that would have threw me for a loop to go and listen to the album and then go see Backrooms and hear one of the tracks. And one of the tracks I heard that's in this movie is a fucking good one, too. I think it's The Word Becomes Flesh or something like that, guys. I listened to the album in its entirety, and I didn't check the tracks. I just let it play, and I was like, let's see how this sounds. Because that's how I like to listen to Boards of Canada. I'll let Gio Gotti play in its entirety, soak in, the whole fucking just album length. As you know, I know as wrong as that sounds, but, just soak it in. Soak in Campfire Head Face, top to bottom. Even Tomorrow's Harvest. Because with Boards of Canada, since them being beats and instrumentals, if you listen to them in its entirety, guys, it feels like a movie. Literally, it feels like Sinister type shit. Like you're watching a snuff film, especially with Gio Gotti. If you're throwing on Music Has a Right to Children, feels like you're, taking it back to the days of coloring books and just, nostalgic hip-hop beats that you grew up on. You throw on Campfire Headface, literally feels like, you're on this acid trip in the woods. And literally you start off tripping during the day, thinking about nostalgia, thinking about the past, thinking about the good times, mainly the good times. Campfire Headface, I get off a good trip. and then, just thinking about good times, all this stuff, and then literally just watching the day fade and then leads to night. If you guys really want to have a Boards of Canada adventure, guys, throw on Campfire Head Phase during the day and then throw on Gio Gotti at night. Now that's a fucking adventure right there, I'm telling you. Preferably on Thursdays, throw on Campfire Head Phase on Thursday, during the day. Throw on Gio Gotti at night. That will be a fucking adventure, guys. I'm telling you, you'll get your weekend right. You will be set. It has that good balance of hope, light, brightness, and then with Gio Gotti at nighttime, that's when you just get that pure evil, viciousness, fucking just, darkness, and even satanicness, you know what I'm saying? No joke. But with Inferno, guys, here's what I was thrown off. With a title like Inferno, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be hot. This is going to be scary. Because their titles really match, guys. Music Has a Right to Children. You listen to the album right there, it sounds like a coloring book in the most best way possible. Gio Gotti with that name right there, Gio Gotti, like, something dark and shit. Tomorrow's Harvest, like it just feels like, yes, like, we're watching the day blossom. The Campfire Head Phase, it's like, going to the camping and you're, in this trip phase and stuff like that, literally it's fucking awesome. But with Inferno, I was like, huh. Now that name's simplistic, but it can mean a lot. Inferno, now that can mean hellish, devilish, hot, scary, dark, something like that. With this album, guys, gotta say with that title, I don't think it really matched. No critique. Inferno. I think that would have been a really good name also for Gio Gotti. With this album right here, Inferno, that title kind of throws me for a loop because none of these songs are, guys, I'm telling you, I was hoping we were going to get tracks like Gyroscope from Sinister. You know what I mean? Like that scary shit. You Could Feel the Sky. The dark shit, you know what I'm saying? But with this album right here, guys, I'm telling you, it wasn't too on the satanic dark side. I don't think they're going for that right now. They did that already. I don't think they want to taint what they did with Gio Gotti around that time because Gio Gotti is what it is from top to bottom. Music Has a Right is what it is from top to bottom. So what they like to do is really get in these phases, no pun intended with Campfire, and just create these different kind of trips, different kind. Gio Gotti, it's something dark, evil, you know what I mean? This is like something that you play at like bonfires at night and just fucking, cultish type stuff. So it's all different phases. With Inferno, guys, with that title, this album right here, surprisingly with the name Inferno, is kind of uplifting, is pretty bright, honestly. In the most positive way, guys. I honestly left this album feeling so hopeful, so inspirational, so motivational, so positive, so happy. All this stuff, guys. Like I'm telling you, I just feel like fucking just, tractor beam. Literally from this album right here, guys. I don't feel like this album was out of order. I don't think that some of the tracks didn't fit. Everything in this album is what I expected Boards of Canada to do. Not really like, what I expected. I called that. But everything in this album is something Boards of Canada would do, is, what I'm saying. It's something I expected, hearing this, I'm like, okay, I can totally tell this is Boards of Canada right here. A lot of people, that's what they, threw me for a loop for, where it was like, it's different. Doesn't really sound like their previous shit. It's a new start, all this stuff. So I was like, fuck, and a lot of vocals. So I was like, all right, what's that mean? What are we going to get? And also hearing about the drum use on this album, hearing that the drum use is fucking awesome. It really stands out. Hearing this album, guys, I'm like, man, also I want to point out the versatility on this album. Now, with Boards of Canada, we got to have those interlude soundscapes, pure soundscapes with no drums, just fucking pure soundscapes, like short tracks. We got to have those. I felt there was a good amount of that on this album right here, really. I think they did such a good blend with the highs, with the bass and like, the uplifting nature and the hot, the headbanging nature, and the lows. Even like the mids, I'm telling you guys, I mean, it is such a good flow with the highs getting a little lower and then just like, deep. and not dark, but just, something deep and just mellow and just, soundscape-ish, interlude-ish, stuff like that, stuff like they, done in the past. But I'm telling you guys, I didn't get so much that nostalgic cassette tape, VHS vibe so much on this album. I got more of this modern 2026, feel of what it would be like if shit was cassette-ish, VHS-ish. No, I'm just making up words. But really, guys, like this album, or Boards of Canada, that's their sound and style. So with them coming out with an album today and like AI, usage and all this shit going on, futuristic stuff and different sounds going on and the music changing and all this stuff, the electronic element, all this stuff. And also, a lot of people also making Boards of Canada type music, today. So with the expectation of their new album, it was like, all right, we don't want to do what you guys expect. That's what I love about Boards of Canada is that you see a lot of their albums came out when I was like a kid, so I wasn't, into Boards of Canada then. But looking at the years and the albums and the catalog, it really seems like they throw their listeners and fans not for their, they don't give them the expectations. Like, you guys want a cassette thing? We got you. It's more of like, we hit you with this. We hit you with Gio Gotti, something dark, something like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like music has a right to children and now we're getting fucking dark. This is pretty intense and disturbing. Getting hopeful with Campfire Head Phase. And then just getting pure like synthesizers and pure 80s vibe and, sunlight, vibe, all that stuff with Tomorrow's Harvest. So always throwing us with these different sounds, but yet having that familiarity with Boards of Canada sound. So with that being said, guys, with this Inferno album, I honestly had a really fucking good time listening to this thing. I don't know really, the tracks, the names I can point out because I let this album play in its entirety. That's how I like to listen to Boards of Canada, really. Letting that shit play, getting in the vibe, and just getting lost. And with, most of the tracks, I can't really, point out some of the names. But guys, I really want to go ahead and say that I'm fucking psyched. I'm happy for Boards of Canada. I love what I heard on this thing, man. I'm really excited to go see Backrooms, to go hear, Boards of Canada in the theaters. Hopefully that's going to be a good movie. But guys, I'm 2 listens in to Boards of Canada, but I really want to say that this is a fucking major comeback right here. I'm happy for them. Happy, and I'm honored to be alive and a Boards of Canada fan, to be able to listen to this shit today, guys, because we eat, baby. Us Boards of Canada cultish, we are a cult, baby. We are a pack. We are a team. And I'm telling you, I'm happy to know that there is a lot of people out there that know about this good music, baby. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit music out there. And, I've listened to Boards of Canada at my, just darkest, deepest times in life. Most emotional times, fucked up times. And then, hearing there's a new Boards of Canada album, throwing it on, soaking it in, guys, just fucking warms my heart, literally. Inferno, like, maybe that's what they mean. I think that's what they mean by Inferno. Shit's hot. Shit just, warms up your heart, your soul. Just gives you hope, makes you feel good, baby. Gives you the energy, gives you the love. That's what I needed, baby. I needed that shit, Inferno. But there are some tracks, guys, I do know the names of. Father and Son. Father and Son. That fucking track right there, guys, if I believe, with the vocals. And it sounded hip-hop-ish. There was so much vocals on that track that it literally sounded like, it was like a main singer on this shit type. It was pretty trippy. Now, when I first heard it, I was like, all right, I can, because I heard, a lot of hate about that song, but I've also heard good things. Heard it last night, and I was like, this song is quite disturbing. I like it. It's a great fucking song, but I can see why this song would throw people for a loop. Like, this is something very fucking different. Listen to it this morning, guys, and that shit was hitting. That shit was hitting. I didn't feel like it was, like, as disturbing as it was last night. Maybe it's because it was dark. Maybe it's because I'm used to it. But that Father and Son joint, man, that is different right there. That is a different track from Boards of Canada. A ballsy track, I should say, because a lot of vocal elements going on where they really, oversaturated it in the best way possible. You know what I mean? So much shit going on in that song where if somebody else did, it would, wouldn't sound so good, so, distorted. But with Boards of Canada, they can fucking pull it off. Just the sound effects on this album, guys, I'm telling you, the left and right things was insane. I listened to this album on surround sound, and I was like, holy shit! It just caught me so many times, guys, where, honestly, I wanted to react to the whole fucking album on YouTube, man. I want to, but these copyrights, you know how YouTube is and all this shit. But I'm telling you guys, I want you to know that I enjoyed this thing. Boards of Canada, man, they're back like they never left. And if anything, they came back with a bang, something hot, something spicy. And I'm telling you guys, this Inferno thing is a fucking adventure right here, man. An adventure. And what you got to do is throw this album on from top to bottom, soak it in its entirety. So many highlights, all this shit. I'm telling you, it's hard to single out a song with Boards of Canada. Let it flow. But I'm telling you guys, the last couple tracks were awesome too. Nice dreamscapes. The album ended off on a nice, pleasant note. Started off pretty intense with, prophecy and all this shit. That song is fucking awesome. So this whole album, guys, I gotta say, really, from second impressions, I gotta give this album, guys, really from first impression or second impressions and expectations of what I have for Boards of Canada with its Inferno thing. I gotta say, I'm gonna give this thing a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. And that 1 point is just really deducted, guys, because with that cover and Inferno, with it being red and orange and dark, I really was hoping for some just more, or not more, but just scary elements. I love that shit from Boards of Canada, man. I wanted something, just give me at least one evil song. One evil song, a gyroscope, something fucking dark and just trippy. Although this album has that disturbingness and eeriness throughout, but I wanted that one song that, after we're just, we're in this zone of uplifting nature, shit is hopeful, and then we, this one just dark track slithers in there, and then we get back to the uplifting nature, something like that, something to just throw the listener for a loop, just one of those. But you know what? I'm not Boards of Canada. I'm just a listener. I don't make this shit. I'm just, reviewing it. But you know what, Boards of Canada? I am fucking happy and pleased and have been starved. Was, just wanting something from a discography. Really, I need that shit, man. Music helps me through the just most fucked up times in life. And this is the type of music right here that helps me. These soundscapes, these just honestly just, it helps, man. It helps the mind, soul, and heart. You listen to Boards of Canada, man. Even Gio Gotti, as evil as that album sounds, it's still hopeful, man. There's such good intentions in these songs right here that I'm telling you, it's guaranteed to uplift your day, man. And there's also shit in Boards of Canada that can guarantee darken your day. So it's a great blend. Boards of Canada, they do it all, man. Awesome fucking band, group, brothers, they do it all. And also what I was thinking of Boards of Canada, where since they're two brothers doing this shit, there's so much love going into these songs right here. As funny as that sounds, because I know that there's, I think there's only one band that's, of brothers I know of, Oasis. And we all know the popularity of Oasis. And, the emotional songs they make. You're my wonderwall. All that stuff. But Boards of Canada, being Scottish and, representing, Canada, of course. Gotta say, guys, I prefer Boards of Canada more than Oasis just because of the impact value, the production, the inspirational value they've given me. I like to make Boards of Canada type vibe-ish sounds. It inspired me so much, guys, where I'm like, you know what? This type of music has helped me personally to get through life, to get through problems. I want to make this shit to honestly help other people out, to give them soundscapes to get lost in, things of that nature, guys. So, you know what? Music never dies, man. And Boards of Canada are here to show us that, we are back like we never left. And we're making shit hot, man. Burning shit, baby. Inferno. Here to stay. Here to stay. And I can't wait for my third listen, guys. My third listen. Fucking psyched. And I'll be able to, know a lot more of the tracks. I was letting it flow. But other than that, guys, that's my only critique I wanted to say. Not even necessarily a critique. It's just something I wanted. It's just a guilty pleasure. I wanted an evil track. But these tracks, guys, I can't say that there was nothing that I would exclude. I didn't hear one song where I was like, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't put this. Where'd this come from? I would have changed this. Nothing. Like, it is perfection. It is a perfection album, guys. I'm just, deducting that 1 point, maybe even 9.5, because since it's not the direction they were going for, I can't really blame them. It's not a dark album, so I can't really say that, they didn't provide. It's just not the direction. So you know what, guys? I am just going to give it a 9.5, just for what it is. And for what it is, really, guys, I think that this is a fucking awesome comeback. The reason, guys, I'm telling you, and we can't blame Boards of Canada for this. Artists, biggest albums, it is so hard to top that and beat that. Us Boards of Canada fans, holding this high value of Gio Gotti and Music Has a Right to Children, all this stuff. It is hard to come back 20 years later, 25 years later, and to just, give us something better. Like, I'm telling you. But Boards of Canada, they're there, man. They're there. This is up to par. I wouldn't be surprised if fans prefer Inferno over Past Work, or if fans prefer Past Work over Inferno. It goes both ways because this album holds so much, potential. All this shit, this sound today is what we need. I'm telling you guys, because listening to Boards of Canada, Gio Gotti, when I got into them, I'm like, man, this music is so different. No artist does this shit. I mean, when did this come out? 2002, 1997, all this stuff. So I was like, man, artists don't do shit like this today, unfortunately, other than, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross type shit, But I'm telling you, to have Boards of Canada come back 13 years with this type of sound, these elements, these futuristic sounds, so much vocals. And I can't blame them for adding so much vocal samples, because I think in today's age and people's, attention span of soaking in a whole album, although Boards of Canada do instrumental beats and have samples and vocals, I honestly think that doing another one of those albums like that, which would have been fucking fine, again, it's the expectations, it's, all this stuff. It's something different, guys, really, because in today's, the attention span has dropped. People want something quick, fast, in the face, nothing to whatever, so I really think that having these tracks, so much going on, keeps the listener intrigued, so much so that they're pleasing us Boards of Canada fans, so much so that even could put other people on game. People will hear that and be like, what the fuck you listening to, man? That sounds awesome. That's that Boards of Canada. You should check the shit out, man. Inferno, all this stuff, like, is that type of shit you hear where I'm like, damn, dude, like, I was getting some party elements in this album, some, nothing too depressing, like depressing vibes where I'm like, man, like, I'm, thinking about some, fucked up times, all this stuff. I mean, maybe for a few seconds, nothing too much. It is Boards of Canada, so that, there's going to be, maybe some of that in there. But for the most part, guys, I felt mainly hopeful. A great blend of light and dark. You know what I mean? Because it's not too bright of a record. It is dark. So with that being said, guys, I'm telling you, Inferno, I really just can't wait to check out this thing on a third listen and soak in these tracks, know what tracks I was fucking just digging and want to hear, and things like that. There's definitely so many highlights on this thing, guys. I'm telling you, even the track after the single that we got, with that long ass name, it's hard to remember. Boards of Canada, man, they're different. But I'm telling you guys, the flow of this thing, I'm really pleased, man. I'm really pleased. I got nothing to critique. And you know what? People are going to hate no matter what. But us Boards of Canada fans, I know that a lot of them are pleased. And I'm one of them, man. I'm one of them. And I'm glad to see that fans are pleased. I'm glad to see they're back, Boards of Canada. And I'm glad to see that these songs are going to be in my playlist. And I'm glad to know that I get to play these when I want. And it's officially out now because, guys, I've been fucking waiting for this shit, hearing that this shit was going to be coming out, for that single came out, a couple weeks ago, all this stuff. So, possibly a month ago even. So to have the album out officially, guys, it feels good to just literally, I mean, I even just opened up Spotify and just, it feels good to just look and just see that the tracks are out now. All of that stuff. Like I'm honestly just, just fucking happy, pleasured by this shit, man. I'm getting pleasure out of Boards of Canada success, man. Literally, I'm happy for them, man. They deserve this shit. Hearing this music and, just thinking, man, why isn't this band so popular, man? These tracks only have a couple, or 200,000 views, or nothing too popular, not too many subscribers, or not too many people know of Boards of Canada. But I'm like, fuck, man. That's pretty fucked up. This music's fucking awesome, man. They deserve more, man. This shit right here they make, you know that they take the time and effort and soul and heart to put in these songs. And, it's different, too. They deserve that stuff. And to see that a lot of people are knowing of Boards of Canada, and to see that resurrection where Boards of Canada are going to be, popular again, all that stuff, man, just hearing that name around is making me happy, guys. So Boards of Canada, Inferno, guys, I'm fucking happy. I'm psyched to listen to it again for the third listen. What did you think of the album, guys? What are some standouts? What are your favorite tracks? I'm hearing a lot of people dig Father and Son. That's a major highlight right there I'm hearing. But other than that, guys, I'm telling you, I dug all these tracks. I'm going to go and try to single out, know the titles of which ones I dug and just shout them out and enjoy them, guys. Soak them in. Enjoy it during the day. Enjoy it during the sunset. Enjoy it at night. Just all times during the day, guys. Boards of Canada, baby. We are here to stay, and we are back. Inferno, baby. Back like we never left. Shit is hot. What did you guys think of the album? Let me know down below, guys. And if you could, please like and subscribe to the video. We could talk some more Boards of Canada. A lot of Boards of Canada videos are going to be, I'm in the vibe. I'm in the mood. It's going to be a Boards of Canada season, baby, for the summer. Shit is going to be hot. It is hot outside. And what better than playing Inferno, baby? Till next time, y'all. Deuces!